to go towards it.
Yeah, another BLG Jax ban. I thought with them banning at red side, they were afraid of a takeaway from Doran, but that's a lot of respect for Doran, and I think they also don't want to be pinched in a situation where Yone gets left up and they give Jax over. But this is the gauntlet thrown down, and it also makes me think, like, what is the actual answer here? Skarner's open, so they're getting Skarner, and Zeka must just have something that he is comfortable with into this. Maybe a Kali?
Yeah, maybe, but I also think it's the opportunity to take something like the Ashe away and basically say, hey, look, we are guaranteeing ourselves both the strong jungler and a strong bot lane. We can play for picks.
Yeah.
The Ashe enables a Skarner incredibly well. And I think it's just a great setup here for Hanwha, but it's a case of how much can this Yone get done?
Well, the Skarner is going to be the lock-in here, of course, has been kind of the pride of the jungle at this point in time. That's just going to be a Gnar locked away. This means that the Yone pivot to top lane actually kind of feeling a little bit sexy as well.
It's possible, but I also think Gnar has just become a power pick here at the World Championship. It was so dominant yesterday, huge priority today.
I think this sets up for a rumble on the opposite side, though. How often have we seen this Yone rumble combo come out from LGL teams, which could be absolutely sick, and we already just saw Bin played into the Gnar. Didn't look so hot in the course of, hey, how much impact did he really have? But I think that was just them struggling to set up for team fights more. This combo, though, is disgusting to play into.
We've seen it other times in the tournament, and it is being hovered for the moment. They're just making sure they get as much thinking time in as possible, but it does feel like an incredibly powerful top side of the map. Zeka's Akali, I heard he's pretty good at that one. There seems to be a skill.
Snowball of bans here with Ashe baiting the Kalista ban, and then maybe like Kaisa and Ezreal being banned as well. But with Ezreal banned, that leaves Kaisa Xayah, with both of them having decent things to pair off of, because Xayah can absorb the dive, Kaisa can be the dive.
But the thing is, I think you really would like to go Xayah Rakan for Viper into Life, but On is a fantastic Rakan in his own right, so being able to remove that is going to be a bit of a hindrance to the Xayah, so they are just going to go back towards the Kaisa, and it'll be the Xayah and Rakan on the opposite side for Bilibili.
That's the trade.
Yep, and brings us back, doesn't it, to all those years past where it was Xayah versus Kaisa every single game. Hasn't quite been the same story, though. The bottom side of the map has been a little bit more up in the air, and it is going to be a purple combo here as the cow once again for Delight. This guy's pulverizers have been absolutely fantastic, but I'm looking at BLG, and one thing I think that you could say is that, range could be a little bit of a problem, but HLE don't have any either, so it's just kind of the best of every world here for this BLG draft that's looking absolutely terrifying.
Viper needs to play out of his mind in this game, though. With the Rakan jumping on him, the Sejuani, the Rumble ult, the Yone ult, there is so much that is swinging for this Kaisa, because if he drops, there is very little damage left in this Hanwha Life composition. So Peanut needs to beeline to bot lane and make sure that this snake is biting everyone come mid-game.
I will say, though, if Zeka wins this game, the amount of confidence that he has exuded in drafts,
and we're going to have to see if BLG can pull it off.
Well, let's jump onto the Rift and have a look at it as Delight. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay there, buddy?
Oh, I was checking on our spectator. They were able to get a lot of damage down on him, but there were no summoner spells that ultimately had to be burned, so it's going to be a non-eventful move there. But now, because Alistar had to recall, it's allowing them time to move in for some deep vision.
Yeah, and HLE do have one less on the map, so a little bit of extra control. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, log in to your Riot Games account on lolesports.com and watch Worlds live to earn exclusive Worlds emotes, icons, and capsules, as thankfully no one is going to die in that little skirmish in the mid lane. So HLE now just going to back away, clearing out some vision, having a look towards any lane swap shenanigans, and it looks like we have an affirmative on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yet another lane swap. The Alistar team, I think, pretty happy about this. HLE just planting him in mid lane very early on, hoping he gets level 2. If he gets level 2, they can then plant him and Gnar bot lane to prevent a wave stack dive.
The thing is, though, we haven't actually had a push from Hanwha in that top side right now. You can see Doran moving up there as Viper has gone into this into this jungle to try and push Shun off. Shun did manage to steal the blue buff, now on towards Wolves as well, so BLG going to be faster when it comes to the execution.
Yeah, Peanut going to move on over, smites away the big wolf. Doesn't get both of the little ones, but Shun only being able to walk away with one Merc Wolf.
Peanut always trying some different form of pathing. He was so dominant in the LCK all year, being incredibly creative, and here goes Raptors to Wolves, steals away the Wolf, now takes Gromp, and then can clear up to the top side. And also, you can see Delight blocking a little bit of the path in his own jungle, so I really want to see how this continues to play out.
The thing is, though, because of the slow push and trying to push Shun out of the jungle, they're not actually in a position to look for the dive on towards this top side, so Bin getting to get a lot of this experience for himself. And you can see Delight has already shifted down towards this bottom side to potentially look for something, but Doran is still on top side.
Yeah, Peanut, Viper, and Doran, let's see whether they can make this one work. Has been already flashing away.
Whoa.
Peanut just travels all the way out of there, hurls a rock backwards, and they get a flash, and they're happy with that.
Great job there by Bin, though. Gets all the experience, soaking up the CS. Meanwhile, plates and minions just getting obliterated on the other side. Teleport coming in, though, as Sejuani's on the way. Maybe a dive.
Yep. You can see Delight was already waiting there, trying to make sure that he could protect these minions as Doran comes down to pick that one up. But 2 plates already going over to BLG, spelling a bit of a gold advantage already building up for them. Still, Doran will be able to get all the experience. That is, of course, the main thing. Missing out on a few minions at the beginning, but otherwise, nothing to be too worried about. And now Zeka and Knight still battling. Charm going to be connecting here on to the Yone. So, I mean, it's so much back and forth between these two.
It looks like we will be getting this extended laning phase, though, with Kaisa staying on that top side. She wants to try and push in that lane, and Doran is moving, well, staying in this bottom side, and Delight is coming to join him, but on, putting him off.
Yep, Doran does have the hop available, so isn't going to be too worried. Does manage to get towards that level 4. And so far, no harm, no foul. Just a bit of an advantage given by almost purely plate gold. Like, that is the only gold that's providing the lead here for BLG. Everything else very, very even.
Overall, though, it means Delight's going to be able to avoid some of the early laning phase and get out of it. So you call this just a successful standard swap where you're sacrificing the plate gold for the experience.
Just say they did a lane swap, and now we're going to have the game.
Yep. But, I mean, now we actually see Kaisa moving back down as Delight catches this wave. So the plate power will end at 2.
Yep, trying to buy some time for the cannon there as well. Very cute little headbutt just to try and see whether Viper can actually get down there and pick that one up. Knight does miss that cannon there. Jonas Strong would give a little zoom in from our observer team, but not going to get it this time around. Definitely some more important things to focus on here. Zeka with that teleport just now on cooldown. Knight the same thing. A lot of this damage can feel a lot more impactful in this mid lane, and I think so many are wondering whether Zeka is just in that Worlds form, right, that we learned about in 2022 and how dangerous it is, as now we're a bit distracted by Bin being caught out. The push away here from Peanut, and yes, the flash they picked up earlier, but is Doran going to survive? That's the question. The hyperproc comes down, and Bin just walks it off. It's Peanut that has to flash now, and BLG just stand their ground.
And that was one of the small advantages BLG did pick up in the lane swap, was Bin with the level advantage. 5-4. He's able to fight back against Hanwha and buy time for Shun to save him in that top lane play.
Kick a Bin.
Absolutely. And I thought that he was dead to rights. But there's a 2-man pulverize here towards the bottom side of the map. Viper and On now doing battle. The Ignite to go down, sending a message there. As the
Doran
sidestep from Bin is gorgeous. Shun's going to turn up. Doran knows that he's just dead. He misses the boomerang, doesn't get the auto. And oh dear, we've seen this Doran before, and it's not the positive one.
That was cooked. He wanted to try and make a big play. The wave was going to organically push back into him anyway. He could have collected the CS. He could have kept the game even, but he just went for it. Ends up giving over kill and assist gold, losing this wave as well. The cannon's going to fall, and then a couple more minions likely. Big mistake there by Doran.
And Pino will get spotted out on this dragon as well, so... Oh, actually, I think they might go for the replay dive.
Oh dear, Equalizer goes down. Doran gets flashed on as well. There's the permafrost, and he's just dead again. This whole wave also destroyed, and Doran is just not in this game anymore.
That ward spotting out Peanut was crucial there. The control ward sees him, and immediately BLG were like, we could go for the Void Grubs, or we could just take Doran out of this game entirely. A 1.1k gold lead for the Rumble.
That is actually game-ending if BLG can play this out. When that happens to your top laner, Peanut's trying to make a play, though.
Make his way down. Elk already having to flash here. Does have the blade caller. There's the heal as well. They've used everything. Knight is now rotating over. and they know they have to get out. Don't want to give him space for that ultimate, as now Zeka does get position, but the Void Grub's going over to BLG. They have a stranglehold now on this game.
And that play is also huge for BLG. That was a 3 versus 4, so all they wanted to do was delay the objective. They suffer no deaths, they pick up the grubs during
this is
it.
so cute. I don't believe they spotted Delight Hex flashing into the brush, or maybe they did. Not entirely sure.
It is crazy because bot lane is our Mercedes-Benz feature matchup, but we have not got a chance to talk about this at all the entire time because all that action has been top. But Delight and Viper have been doing a great job of punishing the Rakan, going for these engages. And look, the CS will be picked up to even out here, but it's definitely BLG on the back foot in this matchup.
Well, not right now in this game. As far as back foots are concerned, I think we're going to plant Hanwha Life eSports there. Elkanon just holding this wave here. You can see it's not a great lane state for HLE right now.
Keep your eyes on what Zeka's doing, though. Constantly just moving up towards this top side, threatening a potential dive with Peanut, or at least a play up on that top side with Peanut there. But at the moment, Bin is respecting it. But it does mean that, again, you can start to shift over towards things like Dragon or BLG if you want to, and start gaining these objective resources in your favor.
But look at all those wards that they have in the top side to protect Bin. Like, they know that the only way you slingshot this game back is if you kill him, and it's so high risk to actually move top lane. Peanut has a little bit of a look, clears one ward in the bush, doesn't even walk all the way into the river to clear the control ward. It looks stable for now for Doran, so if I was HLE, I definitely want to just play away from the Rumble and try and like ignore it for a little bit until you can actually have more equal power on the Rumble and the Gnar.
Yep, and we haven't really seen sort of an honest 5v5 just yet. May not be seeing it anytime soon as well, as Shun in position now. Try and throw out that Glacial Prison on, wanting to also lend a bit of a hand here. Littering the area with wards, as we can see. Some abilities going left and right. Mid lane is just going to be settling for now. Not exactly finding too much there, as we can see.
Yeah, I mean, a small bit there. On it actually hit a support item upgrade before Delight, so he had
Viper in a lot of trouble now. There's the grand entrance. Glacial Prison comes down. Decent cleanse there, but still has to use the summoner spell. This is half his health bar, but otherwise everything is okay. Delight moving on over. That could be big, especially with, you know, grubs and everything else coming up very, very soon. There is the Dragon already up and available here. BLG move over to take it. On
does need to try and soak a little bit of experience to take over to level 6, and I wasn't sure if that's the timing window that BLG were maybe going to look for that play on towards Viper, but I think it will be a case of hit 6, then use all these ultimates when they come back up to target Viper. And again, lack of damage on Hanwha Life when this Kaisa is taken off the board.
And BLG was so good at playing with tempo last game. They are seemingly even better now, and the big thing, they're gaining so much tempo when they have moments like we saw before when they actually pushed HLE off Drake while undermanned while they were taking grubs. And since they have such a point of pressure here top lane with Rumble, they're also able to play as if they have him this entire time. Because if there ever is a double TP in, they're going to immediately be at that advantage because Rumble is so much stronger. So they're just leveraging this power that they have across the entire map to grow their lead.
You can see Doran, not a whole lot of money. As we can see here, Bin just extracting all of it from his pockets. He is very, very powerful right now. Charm going to connect that on tonight. Not exactly consequential at this point in time.
It is a very early reset from the Hanwha Life bot lane, though. I think they're trying to set up for some sort of potential play in the enemy jungle here off of Doran, but Doran now hitting his Mega Gnar will kind of put a little bit of a dampener on that, but still, Peanut moving up. I think you look for On or someone, maybe even this mid lane, as they try and set up for the Void Grubs in 20 seconds.
Yeah, you can see Zeka actually able to lay down a fair bit of harassment here on towards Knight. Might give them a little bit of an inroad into making something happen on these grubs in 14 seconds time. As we can see, some vision up and available now. Peanut trying to clear out as much as he can as Viper and Delight get into position.
I think it's so hard to contest this. They did just get Malignance onto the Ahri though, so that might be the item that gives them confidence. But with Locket on the Sejuani, BLG is so strong right now.
Yep, teleport immediately coming back. The Rumble on the bottom side of the map is giving HLE some sort of confidence here. As On's going to get tagged. There's a headbutt pulverize. As Peanut not quite able to grab him, does head over towards Shun now. Pretty tanky. And now the charm comes in. There's the knock-up. They look to blow them up at Knight into the impale, but it does not matter. The damage had already happened. Peanut now in the back of this pit, just wanting to get out if he can. He's not going to be able to. Delight just hightails it out of there. And that should be 6 grubs and a teamfight win for BLG.
And this is just a completely different BLG. They're the ones that are set up first on the objective, and I gotta say, what is HLA thinking? This was such an easy setup by BLG. Rumble was ready to teleport. He was always going to be stronger. They wash HLE out of this fight.
And they thought that maybe they had a chance trying to fight that, but BLG, they had already burnt that cleanse. Immediately turn on towards Viper, and they thought that they might have had this push coming up river with the Ahri that they could look for a play, but you can see where Yone is. He already cuts off the Ahri coming through, so now they turn on towards Shun, who's completely fine, but On sees his moment as they step forward, we're back into it.
Yeah, another battle here as Doran getting burnt down. Elk not going to be diving a turret anytime soon. Not wanting to put that Featherstorm on cooldown, so they are just going to back away. But Doran is absolutely a punching bag this game, as we call it in the LCK, the orange buff of the top lane.
Oh, they want more, though. There's still plates up. They want to collect. They have 6 grubs, so just a few hits can mean so much. And playing from ahead is BLG's specialty. When they're able to get early game advantages, what happened domestically through a lot of laning phases, they can accelerate the game so fast because they're still willing to play high-risk League of Legends, so they'll be in places where you don't expect them to be. But with the Yone, Sejuani, Rumble, their ability to create and force fights from ahead is massive.
Also the fact you just started to see all those first items completed. Essence Reaver, Blade of the Rune King.
Oh, yeah.
Here in fighting form here is Bilibili, and they want to put the hurt onto Hanwha. HLE trying to use that moment where they reset, though, to get pressure on towards topside. But Bin just easily clears out this wave. Didn't have to even invest the ultimate that's about to pop up in a second. And with 40 seconds until that Rift Herald's up, it's actually Elk who's on the bottom side clearing out these waves, so it may be a Rift Herald trade for that bottom tier 2 that BLG are actually looking for.
Might be able to get there. I do really like how BLG have just been sitting back, right? They've been taking the advantages that Hanwha Life eSports are giving them and then not pressuring overly much. Some of the games that we've seen from BLG previously this year have certainly been a lot more fast and loose. This does feel like the BLG that absolutely dominated the playoffs here in summer. And this is so far away from what we saw the rest of this tournament.
And the disappointing thing is this big draft gambit, this story of giving Yone for this Ahri counter, that's not the reason that any of this happened. The reason that this has happened is because Bin has just taken advantage of Doran along with Shun, and that has snowballed throughout the map, and HLE has made several really risky kind of panic plays to try and correct that differential, but it's just made things worse.
Well, now you can see Viper moving on over. There's a headbutt pulverize only onto Shun, though, hit by the charm, but now On, he gets his way in there. Knight looking to just return the favor onto Zeka. He's not allowed to play the game this time around. Ahri's just not allowed to have fun. And BLG, they'll just grab 2 right as the dragon is spawning.
Okay, that one looked like the Yone. I feel like Yone was the difference in that fight because that was
a good
ridiculous. Ahri is just dead this whole series. Whether you're dead against Poppy or whether you're dead against the Yone, not even allowed to play the game.
And it's the fact that BLG are able to play so aggressive with this composition as well. The reason Yone is so broken is he can play like an assassin, dive in onto the backline, but has a ton of safety being able to go back to his soul. Same when you look at Elk, he always has the flash, has that ultimate available. He can follow up and fights incredibly well. So when Delight has to engage onto the front line of BLG, it's very easy for BLG to turn it around. Now it's pressure on the bottom side. That tower will fall to these minions, and the rotation now back up towards that top side as well. You can see in the MasterCard lane economy snapshot just how much gold BLG is growing here.
Yeah, this is an absolute shellacking in the making here. 4,000 gold is the lead here for BLG, but they're also just taking everything on the map. You can see 0 grubs, 0 dragons, 0 anything that HLE have been able to get for themselves. And Shun is going to be able to grab a Rift Herald as well. So complete monopoly achieved on all of the neutral objectives. And now Peanut looking for some sort of angle here towards the bottom side of the map. But I think even On should be enough support here to keep Knight safe.
I think so as well. They get good vision. Four people out.
Unless everyone comes down.
But at the same time, they're pressuring other parts of the map right away. Xayah was able to shove in mid lane. They're threatening Doran off the top turret once again, so that's then pulling resources up from HLE. The most impressive thing for me by BLG this game is the way that their aggression is measured.
Yeah.
They're still deathless, but they've controlled every objective, and as I say that, they pull off another big play.
Yeah, that is going to be just a blade caller to keep Peanut in his tracks, and they're not able to do anything. Of course, getting the Featherstorm, a big deal if there is going to be a potential fight that HLE are in any position to win, but I don't know whether there's going to be any of those.
But I think this tempered play is coming a lot through Shun. Question marks why he was brought back into the team, but against G2 he's showing up and now again.
Oh, the equalizer does go down, but Zeka is here to try and defend Doran. Still, it's just going to be a kill in the 2v1, and Ben's looking to scrap shield as well. It's Zeka that has to flash to pick it up, and now he may not even be safe. Knight and Shun making their way up to try and get revenge for their top laner, but it's already a 1-for-1. The ulti's going to connect now. It's in melee range. I don't think this Ahri's going to have a very good time at all. Spirit Rush comes out, but caught by the knock-up. Just ban Yone.
You cannot go up against Bin. What, in the mid?
All right, Elk might be going down this time. No Feather Storm this time around, as there's the flash out of the Blade Core. They needed everything to kill him, but at least they get that.
So even if they lose this game, Viper's still incredible.
He's really good.
He's still able to do whatever he wants. He's going to have to execute here, and this is actually what it takes for HLE to get 2 kills. It's not even a positive play. No. They lost 3 people when all is said is done. They lost their inner tier 2. Objective bounties just turned on as a result of that play. So the best thing that HLE did this game was still gold negative.
And the fact that Bin is a level up 1,000 gold, you can see just how much damage he does. And he does a really good job of getting away from this position. The ultimate onto Doran is in a great spot. The scrap shield is perfect, but this is what we're talking about. When you have an Ahri, she lacks that crucial damage.
Yeah.
So the fact that Bin is able to turn on towards Doran, because Doran lacks damage as well, means he just barely gets in. And BLG, after getting the mid lane, are able to move up and catch out Zeka. Knight looking great on this Yone.
Yeah, insult to injury as well. Zeka gets the dash interrupted.
And then Viper dies to Rumble as well, so Bin just picks up another kill. Like, it is a disaster.
Yeah, double masks now completed here for Bin. He is very, very scary. At least Doran does now complete his Trinity Force. That's why I even really needed to mention it, because to be perfectly honest, he is so far behind, doesn't even really feel like an item spike anymore. Zeka heading towards item number 2 as quickly as he possibly can. The light coming on over. Still haven't seen an honest 5v5 team fight just yet, and we may not for the rest of this game. There should be nothing to force BLG into doing it, as now Headbutt Pulverize. He's going to connect on to Elk. Blade Caller comes through. Delight with that ultimate running is looking okay, but there's the red carpet put down. Doran, can you get to the Mega Gnar? That's the question, but already the fight might just be over. The Gnar on only 1, even though he was surrounded, and it's Knight that collects another kill. 5-0-1 on this Yone.
What are you supposed to do as Hanwha? The objective isn't even up, and your entire bottom side jungle has just been taken over by BLG. Their team fighting is really coming alive with this style of composition.
And Max,
yes,
there will be no honest fight. It can never be fair with this level of income inequality.
Yeah.
I think we've learned that from society, but it's definitely present in this game.
And the funny thing was, this is a very reminiscent of this Worlds last year when BLG played up against Gen G. Game 2 was very heavily BLG favor, but they want to change it here as Hanwha.
Well, Viper's flanking. I don't know whether that's a good thing, but maybe it's going to work out here. The killer instinct is exactly that, as Elk is going to go down first, but it's a trade of 80 carries into the back line of the Dragon Pit goes Shun, and now he's looking to try and lock down the cow. They've rebuilt the Phalanx. The triple knock-up from Knight is absolutely gorgeous.
Okay.
They still managed to take him down, though, and there's a wallop from Doran. The team fighting Gnar may have actually found something here, as Peanut is looking to push Bin away. The wallop is going to connect. What is happening? This should not be happening.
Hanwha saw no ultimates on BLG. They said, this is our moment. We need to go. And Hanwha find the perfect fight with seconds remaining on some of these ultimates.
Objective bounty collected as well. Viper started it all by being able to take Elk down with the income discrepancy, and then it was the Yone who flew into the Mega Gnar. So let's watch this one more time. BLG is overstaying because they feel like they can, but it was the charm actually from Zeka that gets Elk down low enough for Viper to execute in the first place, and then really just amazing Mega Gnar timing, and Zeka kept getting Ahri ult reset, so Doran hits Mega right there, one-shots the Yone.
Crucial charm from Zeka as well on towards Knight.
Yeah.
Could have gone back with his E, but the charm into the Doran knock around. But BLG,
oh,
Baron.
Okay, we're just going to do a Baron. I guess that whole fight from before is just not even real. And now with a purple buff on the 5 members of BLG, they should be able to just completely reclaim entire control of the game. And of course, it's one Infernal Drake for HLE that they were able to pick up. Of course, Bounty Gold is nice. But the map still belonged to BLG.
You're saying that that last Drake fight was just a big red herring.
It did feel a bit herringy, yeah.
Yeah, interesting, because you're right, the gold lead is probably bigger now
I think
than it was before the fight.
Especially with this inner turret going down. As you can see with our Rebel Baron power plate, that will extend to about 2K. 2.2, in fact. There's now some defense of these inhibitor turrets going to have to come on through. 4 members in the mid lane, though. I don't think they're saving that one as Knight is probably dead. The flash has to be used. There's a max range impale. It is going to be the turret going down. And so they still lose that. However, Hanwha Life back on the map now.
Zeka TP'd in after killing a turret.
Don't know about that one. On the equalizer now, but the Spirit Rush is up and available, and he's able to dash his way out. That teleport almost was his death, and at least he survives his own teleport.
It will buy a little bit of time for Hanwha on this Red Bull Barn power play, but realistically, it's only just buying them time. They don't get anything off of this. All the turrets will still remain standing, but it does at least keep BLG from knocking open the base any more than it already has.
I think now we can have a conversation about the psychology of an absolutely, like, boom game.
Yes.
Which is what this is, right? HLE, I could imagine, after about 10 minutes in, probably knew that there was going to be a low likelihood of them being able to pick up a win. If you're able to get these little advantages, find these little team fights, is extending the game because of that a good thing? Because you have to stay in this doomed game? Or is it a bad thing? I don't know what's actually better for your mentality moving into a game 3 at even stakes.
I think it depends if you can spook the other team. So the favorite thing I always have is, like, you just decide that there's like 1 or 2 people that you want to kill. So you just want to try, because they have a burst comp, right? They have a pick comp. So if they just decide, let's just try and kill Elk, or let's just try and kill Knight, that gives you a very small chance of actually turning the game around, and a very small chance of just frustrating the other team enough that they can't make a clean play. So I think for the experienced teams, just making it last as long as humanly possible, just to annoy the other team, is usually the right play.
Well, we'll see whether HLE can annoy them as they knock on their front doors. Inhibitor turret here towards the bottom side going to be next on the menu here for BLG. But you can see HLE still pushing them away. Baron buff still up for another 30 seconds, a little bit less than that. BLG will just slink back into the enemy jungle. Look to find another point of attack. We have to remember as well that both of these teams need Baron to get any sort of siege happening. We mentioned already that there's about 0 range, and so sieging these turrets ain't great, but there's a Pulverize onto 2. Featherstorm has to be used very, very early on, but Elk is still alive. The equalizer goes down. Not the most massive value, but that Blade Caller was gorgeous. The ulti to come through. The Impale is decent as well, and it's Viper that's now trying to pop off in this fight. Somehow, it's actually a 1-for-1, but Doran might be a bit more valuable than On.
The fact that Elk was able to get that Featherstorm off was crucial. Everyone in Hanwha was colliding with him on that point, but without him being CC'd, Viper couldn't ult in. Then the ultimate from Bin buys space so the Kaisa can't actually get into the fight, and BLG get a moment to rally and push back Hanwha, but still an incredibly close fight there.
And I think HLE is really impressing me with their team fighting from this level of deficit. And I think I'll need to see it again, but the Gnar Skarner frontline is buying a massive amount of space because they get what would be a good engage until it gets dodged by Elk, and you think, okay, now they're going to lose the fight, but no one can actually get through to Viper or Zeka this entire fight.
And Shun actually saved that for BLG. It could have been so much worse. The interruption with the Arctic Assault so that Doran couldn't get into the backline. That might have been a 1 fight for HLE from an 8,000 gold deficit that has now been shrunk.
But now there's no flash on Elk. He becomes a very susceptible target. Knight does have the QSS available. And as we set up here once more, Zeka on his side with Delight. Someone needs to mark him. It looks like Bin's going to be that call.
Well, this is not going to be Soul, but Soul Point available for BLG if they are able to lock this one down. HLE setting up for a bit of a battle. Bin in that fog of war. They have control vision almost everywhere. Pulverize now on cooldown, unable to battle dance his way out of there. Peanut, can you actually get anything done? The Mega Gnar coming on through it. Shun that's able to lock down the smite, but can they win the battle? That's the question. As into the backline they go, there's the charm onto Zeka, and they blow up the Ahri yet again. Another double Pulverize though is now on there to try and help. Shun trying to get out of there, and he should be able to do so. Top lane is doing better. Viper gets into the backline and just executes Shun. Bin is so strong though. Peanut could not stand up to him, and as we go back, it's Viper doing the Owen Wilson impression behind enemy lines, looking to keep himself alive.
It's the TP mid though. Knight and Bin are looking to end the game. Viper will die to On.
Yeah, done with the shenanigans. Done with the shenanigans indeed, and BLG HLE. They'll be taking down these Nexus turrets. HLE were trying to make these fights close, but in the end, the wallets will descend, and BLG will bring us to an even series and a best of 3 for the semifinals.
BLG fight back. Gigabin for me in this game. He dominated Doran in the top lane early here. Blue side each take a game, and this is going to be a hell of a series.
Just an incredible performance from Shun as well. Controlling that early game, getting those leads for Bin, dictating the pace of that bot lane. This guy, when he's not being knocked away by Poppy, is having a fantastic time.
Oh, he's looking absolutely incredible. And the level of that last team fight as well, both teams knowing exactly what they need to do. Man, we are going to go to a short break. When we get back, everyone's going to break that one down. We'll have game number 3. Do not go anywhere. Don't you dare.